Vaibhav this side. In a world shrouded in mysticism and ancient wisdom, there exist many concepts that continues to captivate the depth of our imagination. Among them, the third eye and the ethereal realm of chakras have lured countless seekers throughout the ages, promising a transcendental experience like no other. But amidst the recent burst and bold claim around the opening of third eye and activating the pineal gland, we find ourselves questioning the truth. Are we on a brink of a mystical revelation, or we have stumbled upon a carefully crafted deception? Can we truly unlock the secret of enlightenment by venturing into these uncharted territories of third eye? Now, since ancient time, the third eye and the chakra has been revered by ancient civilization and embraced by modern day spiritual movements. Especially third eye is said to grant access to heightened intuitions, clairvoyance and spiritual awakening, leading many to believe in its extraordinary power. Many claims that the third eye possesses incredible power, granting us access to hidden knowledge, psychic abilities, and even the ability to perceive beyond three-dimensional reality, and hailed as the ultimate gateway to enlightenment. But how much of this is based on genuine ancient wisdom and how much have been influenced by the alluring narrative of the New Age culture? You can find numerous videos online claiming to teach you to how to activate your third eye in just 30 seconds, 5 signs of its opening, chakra opening, kundalini awakening, third eye meditation, guided visualization, every trick in the book promising enlightenment. Now, all these conclusions are drawn by attaching a connection between the third eye and the pineal gland, which is said to be the seat of the soul. This leads to curiosity within me to really investigate these bold claims and look into the ancient scripture to know the truth. So in this video, let's embark on a journey to delve deep in the ancient scripture and investigate these claims around chakras and third eye. Is it truly a gateway to enlightenment and spiritual awakening, or is it just a product of spiritual marketplace that has been cleverly crafted? I'm super excited to share this video with you. Let's jump right to that. Alright, before we dive into the thorough understanding of concepts like third eye, kundalini, chakras and what they stand for, we need to understand their origin and history of them. Now, to my surprise, when I looked into ancient Vedic scripture and Upanishad, I didn't find anything around the third eye. What it contains is indirect reference to the chakras as energy center and the flow of vital life energy called prana. Now, in Kundalini Yoga, which specifically focuses on yoga and meditation, here we start to find the description of the chakra system. Tantra Yoga has also mentioned about chakra system and how to awaken them by ritual practices, meditation techniques and spiritual knowledge. But interestingly enough, in all these scriptures, there is no mention of third eye and the pineal gland at all. The whole concept of awakening your third eye and what will happen when you activate it, like you start to see aura, you will start to have an intuition about the future, you don't get even one single reference of it in the ancient scriptures. The closest we get to opening anything is in Shaivism, people who worship Lord Shiva, and also the other name of Lord Shiva is Triambaka Deva, literally meaning third eye Lord. But if you ask any traditional practitioner of Shaivism about the pineal gland and the idea of opening the third eye, they will no doubt gonna laugh at you. In traditional texts, chakras aren't associated with wealth, sound, emotions, auras, or hardly anything else that New Age literature is now claiming. There is no incense, emotions, planets, crystal, or metals associated with them. There's no chakra opening. What it really means is what is your psychological disposition, what are your predominant thoughts, your attitude and intention, both consciously and unconsciously, from which you operate. The whole concept of chakra opening and the third eye awakening was actually introduced in the Victorian era. 18th century philosopher Rene Descartes studied the pineal gland and he called it seat of the soul, and he drew his conclusion from the fact that this is the only part in the human brain that didn't appear to be duplicated in its right and left side. But now with the help of modern microscopes, we can see that it is in fact divided into two hemispheres. Probably the first person to coin the term third eye was Swedish scientist Niels Holmgren after examining the pineal gland of frogs and dogfish sharks and discovering cells on the tip of the gland that look like retinal cone cell, which is in no way saying that organ has any kind of spiritual connection as third eye. However, the Victorian Theosophical Society really started to pick this idea from Rene Descartes and decided that pineal gland was the key to spiritual awakening. Now it's worth mentioning that its co-founder Helena Blavatsky is the source of many of today's occult myths such as astral travel, the aura, seven plane of reality, the evolution of consciousness, the third eye, Akashic records, remote viewing, Atlantis, and a lot of other kind of this stuff. One of the Blavatsky followers known as Charles Webster Leadbeater is responsible for a good deal of distorted idea about the chakras that we have now in the popular culture. Now, in the word of Rishi Singh Grewal, the accomplished yoga teacher, the harm to yoga philosophy that has been done by misinformation through the theosophist Charles Webster Leadbeater is indeed very great. Most readers of theosophical and occult literature believe Leadbeater to be a friend to the Hindus, but after reading his book The Inner Life and the Chakras, I am forced to say by the information he has given, he is the greatest enemy of the yoga philosophy and has given a bad name to the yoga. I would encourage you to do your own due diligence and read about Helena Blavatsky and Charles Webster Leadbeater regarding their shady practices and controversies. So now we know that third eye is a concept from the West and doesn't have any history at all in the Hinduism, the tradition that the idea is meant to have been taken from. I believe these terms are coined and crafted so that it can benefit the spiritual marketplace and encourage people to buy products around them. If someone is offering us services like meditation or yoga, Reiki healing, Tantra, then they need a product which in most cases is enlightenment, Kundalini activation, third eye opening, and so on. So these terms are good for marketing the product of deception. So let's start understanding the concept of chakras and Kundalini from the perspective of Eastern philosophy. And I would like to start with the Kundalini first, because in order to understand chakras, we need to understand Kundalini. Now, Kundalini is seen as the dormant energy that resides at the base of the spine and is seen as the feminine aspect of us, which is coiled up like a serpent. In the new age, people make grand statement like, I have awakened my Kundalini, oh my Kundalini is going to explode, which is simply not true. Offering sound and Reiki healing session, Kundalini awakening meditation and tantras. And I'm not against all of these. If someone is benefited from this sound healing, then it's excellent, but associating these practices with Kundalini awakening is not right. In Eastern philosophy, a lot of these terms are seen as symbolism. So Kundalini is often shown as a serpent, and if you look at a serpent in a coiled up form, what it signifies is that you are holding on to different things. If you look at a snake coiled up trying to gas out its prey, it is showing holding and clinging onto things. And if you look at the dragon, this dragon also another form of serpent is protecting and guarding beautiful girl or gold. This signifies that you are stuck in lust and material possessions. This is what we say that your Kundalini is dormant. As you start to expand your consciousness and start to channel your energy upward toward the higher chakras, this Kundalini start to open up, right? You start to release the grip and move away from the tendency to hold on to the object of lust and material possessions. The awakening of Kundalini represents that person is having an expansion of his consciousness. The goal of the journey is to discover yourself as a consciousness. Now let's talk about the chakra system. The first chakra is called the Muladhara chakra, also known as the root chakra, and is located at the base of the spine. Here your worldview and your psychology are of uninspired materialism, and your behavior is primarily reactive rather than proactive. At this level of consciousness, there is no zeal for life, no motivation to expand. You are simply hanging on to existence, holding on to basic necessities like food and shelter. energy is very lethargic, and you are kind of stuck in spiritual slumber. So your Kundalini energy, just like the dragon is clinging onto things, is very gripping and closed off. Your task here is to break at this level of cold serpent grip of your own spiritual lethargy and move up to the next chakra. So the second chakra is Swadhisthana chakra, also called the sacral chakra, and is located at the level of genitals. When Kundalini is active at this level, the whole aim of life is centered around sex. Not only every thought and actions are sexually motivated, either as means towards sexual ends or as a compensating sublimation of frustrated sexual zeal, but everything seen and heard is interpreted compulsively, both consciously and unconsciously, kind of as a symbolic of sexual themes. So one is either indulged in sexual pleasure or is consumed by the thought of experiencing the pleasures, which often leads to frustration, kind of like Freudian psychology. The third chakra is Manipura chakra or solar plexus chakra, which is located above the navel. Now the basic psychology of this chakra is consuming and winning everything. Here the energy turns to violence, and its aim is to consume, master, and hunger for power. Here now even sex is no more seen as erotic experience but as achievement and conquest. Now, contrary to chakra 1, where you were stuck in survival, here you focus on thrival. You acquire more than what you need and gain more than what you can consume. The function of chakra 3 is organizing life, establishing a family, building a business, and learning how to master the world. You will see powerful people like businessmen and politicians who are striving toward more money and more power. Now, all these three lower chakras are outward focused. Your psychology and energy are outward turned. Psychology of a lover, a fighter, the accomplisher. Joy and sorrow on these level are dependent on the achievements in the world, and people think in terms of what has been gained and what has been lost. If you see closely, these three chakras are of function that we share with animals. They also clinging to life, make love, produce offspring by process of reproduction, build nest, making their way. Most of the popular religions work at these levels, asking you to pray to God, give offering to God in order to get a job, get married, build a house, make money and survive, and eventually grow your business, acquire greater social influences, etc. Right? People here are egocentric and their actions need to be put in check by social laws. Now, I'm not saying there is anything wrong with that. Rather than we should look at these chakras as the stages of life one has to inevitably go through. When you start to move to the higher level of consciousness, chakra 4 and above, you have to pass through these three stages. You cannot reach the fourth floor of a building by destroying the lower three. Only when you have these three level of chakras in check, you acquire sufficient money and power, you have good health, and your desire for sexual pleasures is met. Only then you can start to look past them. That's why I talk a lot about goal achievement on my channel, because without it you continue to be stuck in survival mode and can never explore the highest dimension in your spiritual journey. In Vedic philosophy, there is no skipping, there is no escaping. You have to act according to what stage of life you are currently in. Perform your duties and carry out your actions in accordance with that. And then only you can move to the next levels. Only when you have acquired all the worldly possessions, all the money, fame, power, all your desires are met, then you can start to see that all of these things are not giving you the fulfillment that you once imagined. At that stage, you start to look beyond them and your consciousness start to expand. I see a lot of people saying, oh, I hate money, I hate power, I want to be spiritual, but in reality, they don't have none to hate in the first place. They are pretending only from outside, secretly craving for money, power, and material possessions. This is what is termed as spiritual bypassing. You are trying to escape the world and escape from your actions in the name of spiritual enlightenment. If you see Buddha, He was a prince. He has all the worldly possessions at his feet. Once he had consumed them, he started to look beyond them and become realized. Imagine if Buddha was born into a poor family. For the majority of his life, he would be struggling to make a living, and I highly doubt that he would be able to find time to embark on a journey toward his enlightenment. That's why you see rich people start to turn inward and indulge in spirituality and philanthropy. So next we have Anahata Chakra, also called the heart chakra. It is the beginning of your spiritual journey. This is where you start to turn inward. Now I see a lot of people online making grand statements like, oh, I have opened my heart chakra, but in all likelihood they have not, because the heart chakra has a lot to do with humility and not making grand statements about oneself. This is related to how you feel psychologically rather than any physical sensations. So at this level, you begin to turn inward. You start to realize how your desires and your compulsive drive often make you suffer. Here, your consciousness start to have attributes like love, acceptance, peace, compassion, forgiveness, humility, and surrender to higher power like God or Ishvara as it called in Vedas. Fifth chakra is Vishuddha, which means purified. It is also known as throat chakra. This is the chakra of a spiritual effort to hold back the animalistic desire of the lower chakras. So the energy of chakra 3, which is to gain power and success over the world, at chakra 5 you transmute that energy and turn it inward to conquer oneself. You start to purge from your karma and your vasanas. Karma is your unconscious actions purging from your habitual pattern, and vasanas is your subconscious tendencies toward your likes and dislikes, pain and pleasure. So you are beginning to alleviate those and moving toward purification of your psychology and mind. Here you are practicing discipline and kind of like monkish discipline, meditating more on scripture, contemplating on its teaching. The level above is sixth chakra, the Ajna chakra, which is located between your eyebrows. Now, this is the favorite chakra for the New Age teacher, claiming it to be the third eye, but now we know that there is no such thing as third eye. And a lot of buzz is created around the pineal gland, but all it does is produce melatonin and serotonin. If you activate your pineal gland, all you are going to experience is sleep. So here you start to realize the ultimate vision of God, the Ishvara or any God you have been meditating on. All the energy of lust and sexual desire at the chakra 2, here you start to transmute that to the unconditional love, pure love for the God, which is a very blissful state. But this state is so blissful that one is tempted to stay there. And this sometimes becomes the highest obstacle for the complete yogi, because at this level there is still a sense of subject and an object. There is still a separation between the soul, the jiva, and the Brahman, the Ishvara, the ultimate reality, the God. If you have experience reading the Bhagavad Gita or Advaita Vedanta, you might be familiar with the concept of Brahman and Atman. Brahman is the ultimate reality, the non-changing, non-dual, all knowledge, all power, beyond space and time, from which the world has emerged. We are the part of this consciousness. The Atman is Brahman. The soul is simultaneously different and one with the God. It's like we are all the droplets from this vast ocean called Brahman. Though we are separated, we are still made of water, of which the entire ocean is made of. And the goal of our spiritual journey is to become one with the ocean, become one with the Brahman. But this duality is the final barrier toward the enlightenment. This duality is what prevents the individual here to become God. When you come to fulfillment, you have come to that highest point. God's name doesn't matter. The ultimate thing is going past God. The ultimate goal is to leave God for God and become one with it. When Kundalini reaches chakra 6, you see God with characteristic. At chakra 7, you see God without characteristic. This is the highest level you can reach. Chakra 7, the Sahasra, the crown. At this chakra, there is no person to be conscious of God. There is only undifferentiated consciousness. The silence. This is when you reach the state of samadhi. And when I say samadhi, don't think of a monk or sage sitting and meditating. Rather, it is the realization of oneness, the realization of ultimate non-duality, that you and God are the one. Everyone around you is the reflection of God, the Brahman, the ultimate cosmic reality. You realize you are Sat Chit Ananda, truth, consciousness, bliss. You become the God. You realize that Aham Brahmasmi, I am divine. When Jesus said that he is God, people call it blasphemy, but this is what he meant, because he was the realized. He knew that him and God are the one. Buddha, Jesus, Krishna, they are all the same with same message, encouraging humanity to get to the understanding that they are all Brahman, they are all the blissful consciousness. All religion leads to the same goal. Problem arises when religion become bigger than its teaching. Books become more important than its knowledge. Now I'm not going to give you any keys like my other videos, because there is none. The only thing that can help you to advance in your spiritual journey is knowledge. The more you meditate on scripture, the more you fit them into your lifestyle, the more you are going to uncover these layers of ignorance. And trust me, no kind of meditation or tantra or Kundalini awakening process can help you with that. You simply end up losing money and time, totally frustrated and overwhelmed. And I'm not saying that meditation is in no way bad, but these are just the vehicle out there to take you to your destination. But mostly people get identified with the means rather than the end, which causes a lot of problem. You can do meditation based on where you are currently on your spiritual journey, but as you continue to expand your awareness and become more conscious, you won't require it anymore. Now, I would recommend two scripture, Advaita Vedanta and Bhagavad Gita, if you really want to go deep and understand the true essence of spirituality. Also, I would recommend that you look for an accomplished teacher on this subject, because if you try to learn it by yourself, you will get into a lot of confusion, because these scriptures oftentimes are very paradoxical. And don't look at these scriptures from the lens of any religion. These scriptures talk about the key to liberation of the entire humanity, regardless of what country you are in or what religion you follow, even if you don't follow any religion at all. I personally like Swami Sarvapriyananda's videos on Advaita Vedanta and Bhagavad Gita. Swami Vivekananda's book are also going to be very helpful in your journey of spirituality. Now let me know in the comment what your thought about the video, and if you are new, check out other videos on the channel that are going to be very helpful for you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, much love and peace.